Chapter 11. We have immortalized our bodies. Chapter 11. We have immortalized our bodies. Adama. I am communicating with you from our fifth-dimensional city within Mount Shasta. The Lemurian Council of 12 of Telos and I would like to express our gratitude for this opportunity to commune with the many of you who read our message. As we open wide our hearts to you, we ask you to open your hearts to us as well. We invite you to focus on communicating with us as often as you wish. We have the ability to bring much healing to the various aspects of your lives needing to come into greater balance. Be assured that we are always willing, able and ready to assist you in so many ways. By opening your heart and minds to us, we can assist you in the rapid transformation of your lives that otherwise might take much longer. We know that you all enjoy shortcuts, and interacting consciously with us will assist you in creating many shortcuts in your lives that will ease your burdens and accelerate your spiritual progress. Many of you question if we are still physical like you in ways that can be seen and touched. Others argue that we are totally etheric, meaning that we no longer have bodies that are visually physical and tangible in your dimension. For the sake of clarity, let me explain that we have now evolved into beings that vibrate at a fifth-dimensional frequency, with bodies that have attained a state of immortality and total perfection. We have chosen to retain enough density in them to remain visible and tangible when we choose to be, while experiencing no limitations of any kind. The original solar blueprint of our bodies is the same as yours. Our DNA is also the same as yours was before you allowed yourself to mutate into the great density you have been experiencing on the surface for a very long time. Our DNA has continued to evolve, and our physical bodies no longer experience degeneration and aging. Although we feel as physical in our bodies as you do, lowering our frequency to the level of the third dimension is no longer comfortable for us. Most of us have the ability to ride several dimensions at will, and this gives us much flexibility, freedom and delight. Our physical bodies have attained the level of perfection that you are all hoping for. Therefore, we function at a much higher frequency than you do. Our physical bodies function with the perfection that was always intended by our Creator. Basically, your bodies and our bodies have the same potential, they were created with the same divine blueprint. This means, beloved ones, that in a few short years, as your awareness shifts from the limitations and judgments of the third-dimensional frequency to the awareness and unconditional love of the fifth dimension, you will all learn to raise your body's frequency as we have. You will gradually experience the delights of seeing, feeling and experiencing your physical bodies transforming right in front of your eyes, increment by increment, within a relatively short time. It will be unique for each person. You will release all the old limiting beliefs that have kept you in pain, suffering and lack. You will begin experiencing the rejuvenation of your body, which will function according to your original blueprint of solar perfection with many additional attributes. For several golden eras, including the time of Lemuria, we all lived in a fifth-dimensional awareness with bodies that could switch back and forth between the fifth and third-dimensional frequencies. This was fun and exciting until a succession of events caused almost the entire Earth population to permanently focus on third-dimension awareness. We were no longer able to reconnect with our fifth-dimensional reality. Soon, as you evolve your consciousness into the love frequency and are able to maintain it there, your physical bodies will shed their present level of density. The former magic you once knew in the time of Lemuria will return for your enjoyment and exploration. Your bodies will become immortal and limitless again like ours. And this time, dear ones, the magic will seem much greater because you have experienced your lives without it for so long and your lives have been very difficult. You have learned much since those gifts were lost to you. Because you have suffered for so long and have learned great soul lessons, you will never again take for granted the gift of immortality and divine perfection. Your physical body mirrors your consciousness. What will be the next discoveries in the health sciences? Do you intervene to guide our health practices? We do not intervene into your health practices, your eating habits, the stressful lives you have chosen to embrace, your emotional overload, or your healing modalities. You came here to experience free will and we can only make suggestions as to the manner in which you choose to live your lives. Our approach to health, healing and aging is vastly different from yours. First of all, none of us in Telos know any weakness or disease of any kind in our physical bodies. In our lives, we always apply divine principles to all we think, say and do. In our belief system, we know that our bodies were created as perfect and wondrous machines that were meant to live for thousands of years without any sign of weakness, aging or dying. This concept is completely natural to us because this is what everyone here experiences. All of our people can and do immortalize their physical bodies without much effort. We have fully embraced immortality and none of our people look to be over 40 years of age, though they may be 15,000 years old and more. Some of the folks in Telos are over 30,000 years of age but look to be 35. We have no hospitals, nursing homes, nurses, doctors, dentists, health insurance or anything of that kind. When we eat only the purest, high-energy vibration food we can produce, totally organic and totally balanced with rich minerals that keep our bodies eternally strong and youthful. 98% of the food you eat is altered and made toxic with artificial chemicals such as preservatives, artificial food enhancers, herbicides, pesticides, ultra-pasteurization, etc. We would say that most of the food you eat is poorly grown and devoid of life force. By the time you eat it, it is already old, altered and depleted of its natural nutrients and possesses little, if any, life force. What you eat and how you eat it is not conducive to maintaining healthy, strong physical bodies in a state of immortality. Begin to read the ingredients on the labels of all food you put in your mouth and you will start noticing how artificial and synthetic your food is. As a rule, when reading ingredients on your food labeling, if you cannot read it easily, know what it is or pronounce it without hesitation, do not buy it. We monitor what you feed your bodies on a daily basis and are astonished that you are not in worse health, considering the way you feed and treat your bodies. The creation of your physical bodies is so awesome, we remind you not to take them for granted. Your physical body is your tool of evolution for your incarnation. It is your holy temple and you should consider it worthy of the greatest care and love. The illnesses or diseases you are experiencing with your physical bodies are nothing more than mirrors of your lifestyles and consciousness. For us, the way you eat and live would be a death trap. Unfortunately, this is what most of you accept without question and consider normal on the surface. You do not need a scientist or health department to make so-called health discoveries. You need consciousness awakening and deep appreciation of your physical bodies. No wonder your bodies start aging shortly after the age of 30 years. No wonder that by the time you reach 60 or sooner, most of you are plagued with several health problems, and you are looking forward to living on your retirement check or social security. The majority of the surface population do not live past the age of 90. The constitution of your bodies is already weakened at birth by generations upon generations of poor eating habits, stressful lives and mandatory vaccinations. Your bodies never receive the kind of quality food that will sustain them in harmony. Why do you neglect your body and deprive it of what it needs to remain vibrant, healthy and youthful? Why not cherish your bodies and give them what they really need instead of looking to some other source to provide you with band-aid solutions that are so very temporary? There is no real healing outside of self. It all starts with your level of consciousness and belief system. It is best that you make your own discoveries when it comes to nourishing and nurturing your bodies. Notice, I use the word nurturing. Yes, your bodies, especially on the surface, require much more nurturing and loving than you presently give yourselves. Return to nature, dear ones, it will not fail you. Your emotional overload also affects deeply the state of your physical wellness. Your lack of exercise, lack of fresh air, the level of toxicity that many of you subject the body to at work and your stress level all contribute to the breakdown of your bodies. Thousands of you in America and worldwide, work in airtight buildings, breathe recycled air all day long while your bodies sit in front of a computer or a desk with a telephone in your hands. By the time you come home, you are too tired to exercise or make a real meal for yourselves, and rely too often on lifeless processed microwave dinners. In addition, have a look at the liquids you put into your mouths. You drink almost exclusively waters containing harmful substances such as synthetic chlorine, fluoride and other water decontamination chemicals. 95% of your water comes out of pipes and is contaminated in many ways. Check where your water source comes from and what is done to it to make it supposedly safe and drinkable. Though these waters may be considered safe and drinkable by your standards, they no longer hold any healing or rejuvenation energies. Think of how much coffee, soda, beer and alcohol of all kinds and other synthetic drinks are sold and consumed around the world each day. Your bodies need to be cleansed and purified on a regular basis. Pure, crystalline, non-adulterated water is what is required for you to drink daily in order to maintain your body in a constant state of wellness. All illnesses and diseases are caused by the same things, no matter what names they are given by your medical authorities. They are caused by genetic, nutritional, mental and emotional imbalances and toxicity. All this can be changed quite easily with a little more enlightenment and willingness to honor your body and your incarnation. The labels that your medical establishment gives diseases are relative. They only represent the acknowledgement of how those imbalances personally manifest themselves in your bodies. The greatest health discovery we predict you will make in the next few years is the awareness that you can change all your eating habits, start exercising more, have more fun, reduce your physical and emotional stress level, and let go of old beliefs that keep you sick and tired. You will discover a more holistic and integrated way of life that will be much more conducive to keeping your bodies in perfect health at all times for as long as you choose. True healing, dear ones, can only come from the soul and consciousness. Outside modalities are always secondary, and their benefits can only reflect the internal changes you are making. I will conclude the answer to this question by saying that your physical body mirrors your consciousness. In this incarnation on Earth, you live in a house of mirrors. As you heal your emotions, love yourself unconditionally, open up to the ways of higher consciousness and apply these laws in your daily life, your body will reflect those changes and be transformed. The old saying, "Man, heal thyself," is indeed the wisdom you will discover. How to raise one's consciousness. How to raise one's consciousness is a broad subject, dear ones, which could fill an encyclopedia. The answer to this question is like a diamond with several thousand facets, each facet representing an avenue in which you raise your consciousness above and beyond your present understanding of what life is about on this planet. Before you would want to raise your consciousness, perhaps you would ask yourself a few questions such as, what does it mean to raise my consciousness? Why would one want to do this? What happens when one raises his/her consciousness? How will it affect my present life? What could be the results of such a spiritual journey, that literally never ends? Unto eternity? What does it mean to embrace one's divinity fully? When you begin contemplating the answers to these questions deeply in your heart, you will have already begun the process. Your own God Self will step in with your willingness and will send you promptings and guidance to assist you with the process. Remember, it is a process, dear ones, unfolding increment by increment according to your own unique pathway and the level of action and intensity you are investing in your healing process. Once you develop a more expanded understanding of the questions above, raising your consciousness will become so much easier. You can make a fun game of unlimited discoveries out of it, a voyage in self-discovery. Let me give you a brief answer for each one of these questions. I leave you with the homework of expanding these concepts 1,000 times, not so much in your mind, but mainly in the heart. Your heart, your sacred heart, my beloveds, is the supreme intelligence of your soul. What does it mean to raise or expand one's consciousness? It means to start becoming more conscious at all levels and in all aspects of your life. No more living on automatic pilot, and no more giving your power away to others. This means opening up step by step to your divinity, to the wondrous spiritual being you are in the midst of, living your chosen human experience, chosen before your incarnation for the lessons you desired to learn in this present life. It means to stop the madness in your life, at least for a period of time each day, in meditation or contemplation for the purpose of exploring the real self. Begin opening yourself to all possibilities. Explore the wonders and the glory that are contained within you and around you, in nature and everything you see, feel and touch. Explore the intricacies and complexities of other kingdoms on this earth that you have never paid attention to before. Explore within your heart and discover the golden angel that is your true self, another aspect of your eternal identity. Start exploring the vastness, the wonders of love and patience of the being you call Mother Earth. As you begin honoring yourself, Also honor her and her body, as she is one who can assist you mightily in raising your consciousness and vibration. Begin now the most wondrous journey of self-discovery and claim your true nature, as an unlimited divine being having a temporary human experience. Why would I want to raise my consciousness? The human experience on Earth has been difficult and full of challenges for the last several thousands of years, primarily because of the dense level of consciousness of you surface dwellers. You have allowed yourselves to gradually descend from the heights of the glory of higher consciousness in the first 3 golden ages, to your present way of life that does not outpicture the divine being you are. For the great majority, your way of life is not natural to your soul. In general, humans have lost contact with and forgotten their divine nature. In many ways, you still worship a god outside of yourself. As you raise your consciousness again to the level of your godhood, embracing your divinity in its fullness, all gifts of your divine birthright will be restored. You will again be able to demonstrate in daily life the ease, magic and grace of the unlimited God being you truly are. You will raise yourself forever above the pain and suffering of the present limitations you have lived with. What happens when one raises their consciousness? It will be helpful for you to become more aware of how limited you are in your present state of consciousness. Next, spend time contemplating the true meaning of freedom, and what it means to you personally. Decide what it is you want in your life and how you would like to see it unfold. What are your dreams? What would you like to manifest or become during your present incarnation? What are the goals you want to manifest? Do you realize that you can have it all when you raise your consciousness above your limited perceptions? This is how we have created such a paradise and a life of perfection in Telos. We opened our hearts and minds to perceive and receive the perfection and limitlessness that were the intended way of life on this planet. It was this way for 3 long golden ages on this planet, millions of years ago before the fall in consciousness. The fall of mankind is not about Eve eating an apple like some of you still believe. This is an allegory or metaphor and not a very good one either. The fall was about a compromise between the high level of consciousness of those days and a desire to experience polarity. Thus you began to create experiences of doubt and fear, leading to a perception of separation from the perfection that existed. You consciously gave up the knowledge of higher consciousness and gradually began your descent into the rift of duality that you now experience. Your former knowledge has been lost to your outer awareness for hundreds of thousands of years, and for some, even longer. This means, beloved ones, that you still possess this knowledge in the deep recesses of your soul and subconscious mind and that you can resurrect it into your present awareness. As you let go of the erroneous and distorted beliefs that have limited you for so long, you will be able to remember your former state and manifest it in your present physical life. How will it affect my present life? As you begin to raise your consciousness, your desires, interests and priorities will change. You will begin to realize that you, and only you, are the creator and the prime authority for your life, in spite of all other external appearances. You will gradually take charge of your life, like a master does, instead of being tossed about haphazardly by your external experiences. You will use your new awareness, and the knowledge you gain by the expansion of your consciousness to create a new reality for yourself, the one you always wanted, without limitation. You will create a life filled with more beauty, more joy, more ease, flow, love and happiness than you could ever have thought possible. This is how raising your consciousness will affect your present life. Gradually, as you begin to open your hearts more to the possibility of this new reality, as you start clearing your emotional and mental bodies of old belief systems that no longer serve you and keep you in your present limitations, all your desires and dreams will manifest in your reality. You will be free to live the kind of life you always wanted, regardless of what it is you desire to create. What could be the results of raising my consciousness? The results are infinite and unlimited. In your cosmic evolution, you will continue to raise your consciousness forever, unto eternity. You will recognize your real identity as an eternal and immortal being, a child of love created by love. You will know that from love you came and to greater and greater love shall you ever expand into. You are the child of a most omniscient and glorious God and are created with all the same attributes, a duplicate, if you will, and nothing less. Your lost memory will be restored. Even if there are rocks or boulders to remove along the way, thorns to love back to smoothness or steep climbs to master at the beginning of your journey, Don't you want to leave behind your limitations and explore the wonders available to you on your planet? This search for truth can lead to a life of great delight, ease and fulfillment beyond even your wildest dreams and imaginings. Ask yourself, are you an isolated civilization living on a planet, or are we all brothers and sisters, born out of the love of the same Creator? Are you alone, or are you part of a vast and infinite creation with limitless diversity? As you emerge out of the little box you have been living in, you will discover the real world. You will realize that your little box has been an illusion and that you are not separate or alone. You are part of all that is, of love without end. What does it mean to ride the wave of ascension? You are destined to raise your consciousness from glory to greater and greater glories unto eternity. Most people on the surface are dreaming of going to heaven when they die. Now, with the new cycle unfolding on this planet, you will no longer have to die to go to heaven. Heaven will soon manifest right here on Earth for all those who choose to ride the wave of ascension. Won't you start your most awesome journey now? Or do you choose to retain the consciousness of human struggle? Once you have deeply explored these questions, begin or continue your sacred journey. Open your heart and consciousness to the other kingdoms of the earth. You will discover how magical and harmonious they are. Seek to understand who the animals really are, what their role is on this planet, and how they can help you. Aside from categorizing them by species, appearance, size and breed, humans on this planet know or understand very little about animals. Open your heart and perception to what is above, below and all around you in the visible and invisible worlds that you have not observed before. As you do this, you will start to open yourself to unconditional love and so much wonderment. You will be raising your consciousness on the waves of ascension energies that are now flooding this planet. Your ascension to freedom, your crowning graduation from the thousands of lifetimes spent on this planet, laboring and evolving, is now at hand. Never before in Earth's history has ascension been as easy as it is now, offered to you through the ascension cycle of your Earth Mother. Won't you ride the wave of ascension with her? Your ascension to your spiritual freedom has been the goal of all your incarnations since the beginning of time. It is the goal of all of the many lifetimes, lessons and wisdom that you have gained while on Earth. The possibility of ascension to freedom and divine grace can be attained in a few short years. Will you avail yourself of this opportunity now, or will you wait another 25,000 years for the next round of ascension on another planet, experiencing the same difficulties you have been subjected to for so long? The choice is yours, dear ones. With love and compassion, I am sending you this wake-up call.